Aloha and welcome to the spring 2019 season of UHMTV, a show that brings you informative and impactful stories from our campus and our community.
UHMTV is a TV magazine show written, produced, and hosted by the journalism students at the Manoa School of Communications. Thanks for joining us. I'm Mara Mahoney.
And I'm Kevin Okimoto. Coming up in this episode of UHMTV, we'll take a closer look at cybersecurity and the issues surrounding internet privacy.
And how IT advances in healthcare could make some medical devices more affordable for patients.
Learn about a program that's helping juvenile delinquents ease back into society.
Plus, a special talk story session with UH alum and Hawaii's former Lieutenant Governor, Duke Aiona. Stay with us for this next edition of UHMTV.
Cybersecurity breaches can include a wide range of violations, from hacking a person's Instagram account to triggering a countrywide power outage.
As Clarissa Gonzales reports, there are many risks for consumers to consider while surfing online.
Cybersecurity provides protection to governments and other large institutions. Now researchers are even trying to address how to protect your personal information.
Sharing information about ourselves can make our lives easier or more convenient, but users don't always recognize the costs. Experts like Chad Bowman say one of the problems facing many users is free apps.
The number one thing about protecting your information is realize that anything that you don't pay for, you are the product.
One thing to look for in privacy agreements is the use of consumer data. Once a company has access to your data, they often sell the info to other third parties.
When you get big lists and it's a lot of money involved, so it's profit motive to a large extent.
Lawmakers like Hawaii legislator Carl Rhodes are trying to protect consumers' data through the introduction of new bills.
The concern is there's just so much information. Any one piece of it's probably not that big a deal, but when you start aggregating it, you can learn an awful lot about a person.
Cybersecurity experts say there will be 3.5 million unfilled security positions by 2021. Experts say that to fight back against this shortage, security is something that everyone needs to take a role in.
What we can do is start training everybody. What is your responsibility for cybersecurity?
While IT positions are an important part of our society, most attacks can be prevented by individuals making good security decisions. 3 tips to keep your data safe include not writing down passwords, reading the terms of service for apps and websites, and only downloading apps from trusted sources. For UHMTV, I'm Clarissa Gonzales.
Blockchain technology is one way to keep online information secure while saving money for both shoppers and store owners.
Tyne Phillips reports on how this emerging technology is also protecting and managing food security.
Disease outbreaks like Ebola and E. coli have been more prominent lately in fresh produce. Unable to track exactly which shipment of food is tainted, store owners are forced to throw away almost all the goods that could be infected. Now, researchers have found a way to prevent widespread produce waste through blockchain. Blockchain has been the new buzz for industry leaders, business owners, and soon consumers. It's a way for data to be stored in a trustworthy fashion by having multiple copies of the same growing list of records stored in different places. So if there's one tainted batch of produce from one specific farm, blockchain allows them to figure out which farm it came from instead of throwing all the produce away.
All of these food ecosystem problems can be solved by the various participants in the food supply chain: farmer, supplier, packing company, transportation company, retailer, all the way to the end consumer, sharing information.
So let's say you are a small business, you would like to be part of a larger supply chain. That would help you to be part of that supply chain, to be able to share information in specific ways, even though you don't know who actually is a recipient of that information.
There are 2 types of blockchain, public and private. Public means anyone is allowed to contribute or read it, and private is where the owner of the blockchain has to give other people permission to access it. Although there are many benefits that come with blockchain, like food security, some experts have concerns about the fraud and privacy issues.
In a permission blockchain, who is giving permission? How open does it have to be?
However, researchers believe blockchain is ready to be used on a larger scale, despite the concept being relatively new.
I think today we are at a point where it's ready for prime time. There is enough technology available for us to build real production scale solutions.
Tyne Phillips reporting for UHMTV.
Thanks, Tyne. Internet privacy continues to be a major concern for occasional and avid social media users.
Gabriela Halikas reports on a disturbing campus incident that recently involved undercover cameras and secret video recordings of students, faculty, and staff.
Video live streaming is a popular way for millennials to boost their social media presence and even make some extra money on the side. James Way, a Twitch broadcaster who is not a UH student, came to campus and live streamed his way through classrooms and spoke with several students.
It was right here inside of Crawford Hall, where James Way was found walking around into various classrooms.
While some UH officials found this video to be inappropriate and disturbing, Way did not find it to be an issue.
So there was no plan to go up there and invade someone's private. There was no plan to go up there and, get someone upset. It was just me going up there to do what I like to do, which is live streaming.
When he came into the class, he was very quietly adamant about talking with the women in the room and asking them odd questions. And
UH executive policy states there are standards for the ways in which members of the UH community interact with each other. The university filming guidelines also state you need to obtain a license to film for commercial and non-news purposes. Campus officials say this goes against our campus policy.
It's a small amount of money, but it still represents revenue. It still indicates that his behavior was commercial.
Way's video has since been deleted from all social media platforms, and his Twitch account was suspended for 14 days. Way was not fined or prosecuted for the violation. Campus safety officials say they are stepping up their efforts to prevent this from happening again.
Thanks, Ella. Turning to smart cities and just how close Honolulu is to becoming one, let's take a look.
The first named smart city in the world appeared in 2014. Seoul, South Korea earned this title because of its commitment to the public. At the Hawaii International Conference on System Sciences, experts explain what a smart city is.
It's a city that doesn't only focus on one specific thing, but does waste management and water management and urban operations and citizen participation. So has an integral view of what has to take place within a city.
In 2018, House Bill 2182 passed and is now a law. The purpose of the law is to make Hawaii run on 100% renewable energy by 2045. Many said this is one of the most ambitious goals for renewable energy set forth anywhere in the U.S. To help the statewide push to clean energy, Blue Planet Foundation partnered with the Hawaiian Electric Company to create a free online energy database called Island Pulse. It allows Hawaii residents to see just how much energy is being used on Oahu every day.
Experts at the Higgs 52 conference believe that smart cities would be beneficial for public safety, transportation, and the environment. However, skeptics are worried that a single cyber attack could shut down an entire city.
That city will be very susceptible to suffer from that attack.
Do we want that, or do we want that? And then we have to have a discussion, make some decisions on how we want to expand our self-governance in this country, and that may require some readjustments and revisions of how we have done things so far.
So Kevin, what is the top-ranked smart city?
Well, according to smartcitygovernment.com, London is the top-ranked smart city, with Singapore following close behind.
With so much information posted every second, it can be hard to know what's true and what's not. Clarissa Gonzales has more on the rise of fake news.
With today's technology, anyone can broadcast their thoughts to the rest of the world at the push of a button. University of Hawaii professor Randall Minus says the spread of fake news stories shapes people's opinions based on misinformation.
There's a dissemination of fake news to manipulate people into thinking certain ways.
During the 2016 presidential election, fake news became a topic of concern to the public at large.
Bill, I didn't tweet. I retweeted somebody that was supposedly an expert. Am I going to check every statistic? I get millions and millions of people at real Donald Trump, by the way.
After the election, researchers like Alan Dennis began studying the ways fake news stories spread.
We found people were very bad at detecting fake news. They couldn't figure out what was true and what was false.
In response, researchers developed different approaches to detecting fake news, such as depending on ratings from users or professionals in media.
Researchers know that fake news is a real problem. They figured out how to identify it. But controlling it is a different kind of challenge.
One main factor that allows fake news to spread is confirmation bias.
People believe what they want to believe, and they disregard everything else. They don't process information that they don't believe. You can show the information to them, but they generally just disregard it.
Experts say technology may not be enough to solve this problem.
Unfortunately, I don't think there's too many things we can do.
The user typically has to seek out this technology in order to use it. Without wider public awareness of these tools and willingness to use them, technology can only do so much.
Clarissa, what can we do as consumers to recognize what news is real or fake?
Well, Mara, the first step is to just be aware that there is fake news out there. Then think carefully about the credibility of the sources that you're reading, instead of just assuming that everything is true.
Thanks, Clarissa. Coming up, we're diving into the world of healthcare.
Stay tuned to UHMTV. Welcome back to UHMTV.
New innovative technology could change the way your next doctor visit goes. Here's Tyne Phillips with more.
Researchers have found cheaper ways to help diagnose problems in the digestive system and create custom prosthetic limbs. Researchers are finding ways to create life-changing devices that are more affordable and user-friendly. Todd Coleman is tackling the second leading cause of people missing school or work, the digestive system. In fact, he calls the digestive system the second brain.
So we built a device, and the device involves multiple electrodes that you place over the surface of your abdomen. Very much like an EKG, these waveforms are recorded. We can determine how active the contractions are in your stomach. Is your stomach really trying to pump the food to squeeze it down, or is it not? And we can also assess, are those contractions coordinated?
The EGG is already being used for patients at UC San Diego and is expected to roll out to the public in the next 5 years. Meanwhile, researcher Fremont Bodendorf has found a way to put his 3D body scan to use. He originally created the body scan for retail purposes, where Adidas, the clothing company, could use the body scan for their virtual try-on feature. But after noticing a need for low-cost prosthetics in third-world countries, he saw a gap in the market where his invention could serve a bigger purpose. With this device, those kids can get their bodies scanned and have low-cost prosthetics made just for them with a 3D printer.
This will be a kind of paradigm shift. So you have on the one side, on one hand, you have got your real patient you are talking to, and on the other side, you have the virtual world. And you have to bring together both worlds.
Despite these researchers finding ways to make these efficient, user-friendly, low-cost devices, privacy is still something they're working on.
Privacy is something that we're very aware of. We're confident that we can ride our surfboard over that wave of innovation and to really allow us to maintain privacy, yet still get the benefits of artificial intelligence.
Tyne Phillips reporting for UHMTV.
Thanks, Tyne. Flavored tobacco products have led to higher rates of teen nicotine use, the CDC reports. Now, a national conversation to ban the products have reached Hawaii's shores. Shannon Manamtam has more.
While there's been a rise in e-cigarette usage among teens, some experts believe it's because of the increased popularity of flavored tobacco. E-cigarette companies like Juul Pods appeal to teens through their different fruity flavors. State Senator Carl Rhodes has been an advocate for reducing tobacco in Hawaii and believes that flavored tobacco has caused an increase in teen smoking.
And their marketing techniques have always been unethical, to say the least. So it's you have to fight back against a moneyed interest.
According to a report by the Center of Disease Control, about 11% of high school students reported using e-cigarettes in the last 30 days in 2017. That number grew to more than 20% in 2018. That's a total of more than 3 million students.
There's studies that show kids are drawn to this type of marketing. And we're not talking about, cereal choices anymore. We're really talking about a chemical that's going into our bodies.
There have been different efforts to ban flavored tobacco. In 2009, the FDA banned any flavors besides menthol for cigarettes. Up until now, only cities and districts like San Francisco have passed laws banning all flavored tobacco. This is not the first time Hawaii is considering restrictions on tobacco products. In 2015, Hawaii became the first state to raise the minimum age from 18 to 21 years old. Since its 2009 ban has been in effect, enforcement has increased, and companies like Juul are changing their marketing strategies to appeal to current smokers rather than look for new tobacco users. I'm Shannon Manautam for UHMTV.
Shannon, how will the FDA's ban affect current tobacco users?
So the FDA does not have a specific timeline to implement their new policies. However, they are escalating enforcement against people and retailers who are illegally selling these products to minors. For instance, they've been working with eBay to remove the listings from their websites.
Planned Parenthood is set to construct a new hub in Honolulu in an effort to expand their organization's reach. Reporter Unica Escalante has more.
Planned Parenthood has a new home in Honolulu. The new building, which stands along Beretania, features a larger space and updated medical facilities. The new space replaced the South King Street location as the only Planned Parenthood on Oahu. Yet despite only being open since February, the location has already attracted controversy. Because other than offering reproductive services like STI testing, breast exams, and contraceptives, it also offers abortions, and pro-life advocates are less than thrilled.
My tax money goes to support Planned Parenthood. I don't like that.
Danny Glover is a protester who I met one morning praying outside the new building.
Well, I'm here today to represent the unborn babies because they don't have a choice.
And Glover isn't alone, as the location opens amid recent federal efforts to defund pro-choice organizations. In March, the Trump administration released a rule that prevents pro-choice clinics from getting federal funding. Dubbed the domestic gag rule, it could effectively defund Planned Parenthood. But pro-choice advocates aren't backing down.
What we're seeing, and this is more at the federal level than at the Hawaii level, but it obviously has ramifications for Hawaii, is a very full-throated effort on the part of the Trump administration to recriminalize abortion.
For Chesney Land, administrations will come and go, but reproductive rights are an ongoing fight.
Unica, are there any Planned Parenthood hubs on any other island?
So Planned Parenthood is available on only 2 of Hawaii's main islands, Maui and Oahu.
Thanks, Unica. And when we come back, we'll have a special talk story session with former Lieutenant Governor and UH Law School alum Duke Aiona.
Stay tuned. Welcome back to UHMTV. Recently, UHMTV's Shayla Torres got a chance to sit down with former Lieutenant Governor Duke Aiona.
Born and raised here on Oahu, he's helped the community during his time as a judge by paving the way for the first drug court program in Hawaii. In the 2000s, he was a popular public servant known for his title as Hawaii's 10th Lieutenant Governor. In the studio this morning, we are welcoming Duke Aiona. Good morning.
Aloha.
How are you doing today?
Good, Shayla.
Thank you. You went to the law school here at UH Manoa.
That's correct.
Can you tell us a little background on your journey?
Oh, absolutely. I got accepted to the University of Hawaii School of Law, graduated in 1981.
Nice.
And proud graduate of that law school. I got to put a plug out for the former CJ William S. Richardson.
Mm-hmm.
It was his vision to get that law school, and it was really to help the local kids to have an opportunity to be a part of the legal community, and I'm very grateful for that.
So I heard you helped pave the way for the drug court program. Could you tell us a little bit about that, how that started?
It was an awesome achievement. At that point in time, drug court started actually in Chicago. So it was pretty much just come in, okay, don't get arrested again, and you're out of the system. This component now had like a treatment program, treatment component to it. If you comply with what you need to do, which is basically treatment, and we try to get it done within 18 months, okay, then everything's wiped out. And I got to tell you, it was very successful.
That's awesome. Well, let's talk about your time in office. You served for 2 consecutive terms.
Yes, ma'am.
What made you get involved in that?
Good question. I had no ambition whatsoever growing up to ever get involved in elected office. And it really was, I call it divine intervention. It really was. It was a matter of, I believe, the good Lord just saying, okay, this is the path I want you to take. And so, anyway, long story short, I ran with Linda Lingo, who was a first Republican administration since statehood. That was historic. She was the first woman governor. That was historic. We just worked together well as a team. I really felt a part of the administration, which is how I believe it should be.
Right. So you obviously have a lot of experience in the office. What about today's state? Like, what are your views on like the current situation?
I believe that we've always had this problem, and I guess we have a spending problem in the state of Hawaii that needs to be curtailed. And the project that's here now today that wasn't there when we got elected, but it was born during the last couple of years of our administration, is the rail project.
Yes.
And it is sucking out a lot of money from the taxpayers of the county. And I got to tell you, I think eventually the whole state of Hawaii.
You have a radio show too, right?
Yes, it's called 808 State Update.
There we go.
Yes, and we've actually went on our 5th year.
Wow,
yeah,
congratulations.
We've been there for 5 years. It's a talk radio program, AM 940, and it's talk radio.
That's what we like. We like to talk.
We just talk. I believe there's a lot of apathy right now in this state in regards to just, elections. And that has to change. And that's why we kind of started the radio program also, to get people to be more involved and to understand that their vote does make a difference. And of course, we want them to be knowledgeable.
Of course. Right? Yeah. Thank you so much for joining us today.
It was my pleasure. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Next on UHMTV,
see how inmates in Hawaii Youth Correctional Facility are making headway to start a new life. Stay tuned, we'll be right back.
I chose UH Manoa's College of Social Sciences because it inspires me to be bold and unafraid, to stand out, speak up, defend, and question.
It's about being in my element, being engaged, and being part of something great.
At the College of Social Sciences, we empower students to explore their interests, discover what they excel in, and learn how to apply their knowledge outside the classroom. Visit us today and learn more about us, because life is not one-dimensional and your college degree shouldn't be.
A group of boys at Hawaii Youth Correctional Facility are turning over new leaves and setting their goals. Katie Boone has the details.
This looks like a typical day of work for young builders, but it's actually a community re-engagement program for boys coming out of prison.
In this program, I can pick and choose how I want to learn in my own way.
Based out of the Hawaii State Youth Correctional Facility in Waimanalo, the program is called Kinaeha, which means to extinguish pain.
These are youngsters with special education needs. They learn differently. It's a good place. It's been a good place for them, and I'm privileged to have them because they work with me and they learn the cultural piece.
Mentors teach a combination of cultural values and vocational skills to keep students off the streets and out of the prison system.
Taught me how to stay on task, so I'm seeing myself working, staying busy.
Juvenile arrest rates are relatively consistent across ethnic demographics. However, nearly half of the youth incarcerated in Hawaii are Native Hawaiian. Through federal and state grants, along with assistance from community members, this program costs roughly $25,000 per student per year. This is a small amount compared to incarceration costs. A study by Justice Policy Institute found that detention costs here in Hawaii are far above the national average. Kinaeha kids are trying to stay out of the system. They are encouraged to get their high school diplomas and learn about construction. On the east side, you may also spot them in bright green shirts participating in community service.
They're caught at risk, but I think they're just especially talented at other things. We're all in a supportive family ohana environment. We're all brothers and sisters, work together every single day, eat together every single day, and play together every single day.
Day in and day out, these students are working hard to build better futures. For UHMTV, this is Katie Boone.
That wraps it up for UHMTV. To send us comments or feedback, visit the UH Manoa Journalism website.
From all of us at UHMTV, thanks for joining us.
We'll see you next time.